Hi, I'm Andy Bird, and I'm here on a US college campus where students are just a few weeks away from the start of a new semester. As CEO of Pearson, I'm excited to show you how we're about to make a real difference in the lives of students at colleges and universities like this one. No matter how students are returning to the classroom, whether in person or virtually, they need learning experiences that help drive better outcomes and make their busy lives much easier. From on-campus students to working adults learning on the go, learners rely on digital tools that fit their lifestyle and their budget. And today, we're going to show you products that do just that. You'll see our brand new interactive science labs, as well as the improvements we've made to the student and faculty experience of Revel, one of our cornerstone higher education products. Finally, I'm excited to give you a first look at our new learning app, which will change the way college students access and experience their content from Pearson. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to some extraordinary students. They've persevered through a year and a half of upheaval, stress, and uncertainty. And now they're ready to get back out into the world and back to learning on their terms.
My name's Logan Collins, and I go to University of North Carolina, Wilmington.
My name is Jadalyn Pearson. I go to East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina, and my major is entrepreneurship with a minor in professional selling.
So my name is Chris Simmons. I go to Kent State University, and I'm a business management major.
My name is Noah Myers. I attend the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and my major is business marketing. One word to describe everyone coming back.
Exciting.
I'll say excited.
Apprehensive.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be back on campus.
I cannot wait to be back, be able to talk to my professors again, be able to collaborate with other students.
I'm a little nervous. I missed everybody when I was on campus in the spring, but it's also going to be strange to have a crowd of people back.
I feel good. I'm excited. I'm very much of a in-class kind of person, face-to-face kind of guy.
Virtual classes have been all right, but I'd much prefer campus.
It's going to be strange to say this, but I miss the lectures. I miss sitting in a classroom.
It's a bunch of emotions right now.
Pandemic showed me and will change me is I can't sit back and wait. If I want something, I got to go get it.
I feel like a lot of college students struggle with just taking care of themselves, if that makes sense.
It gave a lot of people a time for a mental break from school and work. I feel like it helped us grow.
I think for my future, I would love a hybrid situation because I have found that I was just as productive online as I was in person.
For sure, with COVID, we definitely started using a lot more online platforms.
I'm actually a senior right now, and the last time I used an actual textbook was probably first semester freshman year.
I definitely prefer digital, one, because the carbon footprint.
I definitely think it's the future.
Actually, I would say the pandemic kind of changed my career path because after being in classes, I kind of realized I don't want to be in school even longer after I graduate because I want to be out there making connections with people.
Because of the pandemic, I had so many opportunities through my personal job to speak for hundreds of people at once. I would have never done that.
And I just had time to kind of reflect on really the direction I wanted to go in and what I wanted to do, and I decided to make that adjustment. So I guess you could say the pandemic did kind of help me make that change to business management as my major.
Summer of 2020, I lost my grandfather. That was a big turning point in my life. From that, my heart wants to help people. And so I'm studying biology to become a doctor. That's my end goal.
Being in college when the pandemic hit and when everything went online, we'll start to look at the world a little differently and see the possibilities.
It's definitely impacted us. I hope it's for the better. I hope a lot of people got to assess what's important to them in their lives and it pushed them to do better.
We need to be more appreciative of things and how much we take for granted.
I think everything that I've experienced this past year is just gonna help me as a person, continue to just not complain about life, but just adapt and just continue to do the right thing and push forward no matter what.
Even though many college students are thrilled to head back to a physical campus, they also want to keep the elements of digital learning that make their lives easier and their studying more productive. To share some of those insights, I'd like to introduce you to Ishanta Lokagay, our Chief Product Officer and Co-President of Direct to Consumer.
Thanks, Andy. Before the pandemic, students were telling us that they prefer the experience, convenience, and affordability of digital learning. That's why high-quality interactive experiences have become the driving force behind our product development. Now we are expanding our mastering product to include Pearson Interactive Labs, a virtual science experience that replicates a lab environment. The pandemic created more value for this kind of product, but we believe interactive labs will become an important part of the teaching and learning process well into the future. In fact, science instructors have been asking for this kind of high-quality interactive experience so students can be better prepared for research inside a physical lab and do research on their own. Our interactive labs familiarize students with the concepts, equipment, techniques, and safety protocols used in a physical lab. So when students do move into a lab like this one, they can start learning quickly and efficiently. If students can do research in person, interactive labs also serve as a quality replacement for the experience. Let's take a closer look now.
In these interactive labs, you're not constrained by the cost of the equipment or the walls of a classroom.
It's really important that students understand the process of science. I've never seen that more importantly than over the past year. Everyone has experience with science in their everyday lives. Being able to connect that to the labs is going to help the students engage and also retain the information.
Data is everywhere, and no matter what field the students go into, from teaching to marketing to being a baseball coach, they're going to be making graphs and interpreting data. It's best to build that skill now in an online lab interface where they can make mistakes and practice for the working world. The process of science inherently involves making mistakes. This makes the process realistic.
This fall, we'll have several interactive labs available for introductory biology courses covering topics like photosynthesis and genetics. Additional labs will premiere in 2022 and beyond. Those will help students understand subjects that are relevant and important in the world today, like vaccine development, the human immune system, and climate change. We're also developing labs in microbiology, anatomy, and physiology to support students pursuing healthcare degrees. Interactive Labs is a beautiful and engaging tool. We are confident that faculty will value its impact on learning and students will love to use it, furthering Pearson's position as a leader in science content. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Ishanta. Next up, I'd like to reintroduce you to Revel, one of our cornerstone higher education products. This interactive learning app delivers proven results to help students succeed. To give us a closer look, I'll hand it over now to the president of our higher education division, Tim Bosick.
Thank you, Andy. For its 650,000 users, Revel blends trusted author content, rich media, and assessment in a fully integrated experience. It's also easy to use with a great mobile app for study on the go. When a learning product is highly engaging and provides immediate feedback, like Revel does, students spend more time on it. Our own research shows Revel can lead to deeper learning and better test scores and grades. Now, we're making Revel even better with an enhanced student experience, along with improved tools and analytics for faculty. Let's take a look at what's new.
I like the dashboard because at a glance I can see their performance collectively, and I can use that information to address some things in my correspondences with my students. I use what I've assigned and the feedback I'm getting from them to inform my next steps.
I use the tools that Pearson Revel has to offer. In particular, I use the quizzes and the essays.
I assign those quizzes before the day of my lecture. And so I have more people who've actually read the material. I have a more engaged and lively conversation within my class.
I'm also excited that Pearson has now developed an app geared more toward the instructor side of the courses. I'm constantly on the go. I need something quick that's going to allow me to check in on the progress of my students.
I am excited that students are going to have the chance to use Revel.
Revel and our other learning applications, Mastering and MyLab, have long been the foundation of our digital experiences. Combined with our expert authors in eText, our products help us engage with 10 million US college students every year. But as Andy will explain, we're taking our consumer engagement even further.
That's right, Tim. In March, we told you we're working on a new learning app for back to school. Well, today is game day. And now, I'm excited to give you the first look at the most affordable, flexible, student-friendly eText option on the market, Pearson Plus. Pearson Plus looks and feels like the services students use to watch movies or listen to music. We chose the name Pearson Plus for a reason. It combines the strength of our authors and brand reputation for academic excellence with a dazzling new user experience. We've created a premier learning destination for college students, one we know they'll find indispensable. But we're not stopping there. Pearson Plus is set to become our flagship higher education learning product, starting with more than 1,500 of our ebook titles. Over time, Pearson Plus will grow with even more features and content that students need and enjoy. As it expands, so will our community of users, driving further opportunities and growth for the company. Like all of us, students want engaging content, but they're also telling us they want an easy way to find their course materials, a simple user experience, and straightforward pricing. Pearson Plus delivers all of that. Now, I'd like to pass it to Lynn Frank, Chief Marketing Officer and Co-President of Direct to Consumer, to explain more about how we developed Pearson Plus.
Thanks, Andy. We are proud to say that Pearson Plus was developed for students by students. Working together with our developers, students were the driving force behind building the user experience. From virtual discussions to focus groups and product testing, they let us know which functions and features were the most important to them, such as audiobooks and advanced note-taking. A few weeks ago, we gathered a group of those students to show them what they helped create. And who better to tell you all about it than the students themselves?
In your pocket, in your bag,
right.
It's right there. Yeah. It's right there. That's what we need, man.
I was involved in a focus group where they were beginning to get this started, and they were asking us questions about it as students, like what would our input be on it?
I think it's great that Pearson, wants to hear the voice of their greatest customer, and that's the student,
I feel like the setup is very intuitive too, because you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You don't have to really struggle to find it.
Yeah, I was looking into it, and I think it was like 1,500 textbooks or something like that.
And I feel like it's gonna be convenient in so many classes too, because like every title's there. So there's no excuse that we wouldn't be using it.
The fact that I just have it all right here and I can just access it, amazing.
Like, honestly.
I love that this app is so seamless. Like, it works perfectly on my phone and on your computer.
And I just found that you can even sync between the two.
If your laptop dies, you can just hop right on your phone and continue working on whatever you need to go.
So honestly, one of my favorite things about the app is the fact that it has offline access.
We like to go out and go have a picnic and have a little study day and stuff like that. And so a lot of the times I have to use my hotspot or use someone's Wi-Fi from their car. So this is great because then you don't have to use up your phone battery. You can have your textbook offline and then you can just go ahead and do whatever you want.
Hey, can we check out the audio version of this?
Yeah, I'll play it. Let's see.
Some of the most dramatic effects of perceived control.
And that's cool.
It's way better than the robot that we always hear.
Or honestly, we can work out and really listen to the audiobook if you really wanted to. Get your study on and work out.
I really like being able to change the colors of the highlights and then sort by the colors, because for me, I'll highlight and be like, okay, yellow is what the professor said. Green is what I don't understand. You can customize it to how you need it.
Let's see what we got next here. Okay, study anytime. Create custom flashcards. There we go. Custom flashcards and practice them on your own schedule.
Yeah, and the flashcards are already embedded into the textbook, so you don't actually have to spend even more time of your studying making the flashcards. You just go straight into learning.
I probably spend, what, $50, $60 per textbook usually, and then have to deal with carrying it around everywhere. And now here I have about like 1,500 titles for $14.99 a month, whereas I would have been spending so much money in the past.
It is clutch, you know what I'm saying?
Guys, I really love that this is like a pay-as-you-go subscription service.
Right? It's like you can like choose whatever works for you.
And you don't have to pay for more than what you need.
The thing about Pearson Plus is it's all in one place for us.
It really brings like learning to life. And you're saving on paper.
Yeah. That sounds like a plus to me, honestly.
Pearson Plus.
Imagine if Pearson Plus had some kind of like social aspect or collaboration.
Building study group.
If you have like little breakout rooms or something.
Put the discussion post like within that same chapter.
Maybe a personal study assistant.
I need reminders, like, oh, don't forget to study the flashcards that you don't know.
Being something to tell you, hey, you've been at this for an hour. Maybe take a little break. You'll learn better, you know?
Pearson, are you taking any notes?
With that, I'm really be able to maximize my time, like moving forward for sure, using Pearson Plus.
It saves me all of that studying, all of that time when I get home. I can spend time with my family.
Pearson Plus really has created and opened a new door for learning.
We're really excited by Pearson Plus and its potential to increase access to high-quality, affordable learning content. Combined with its ease of use, Pearson Plus will deliver value to students in a way that few other learning products have. We also know this generation of students believes in building a better world, so we're confident they'll appreciate the smaller carbon footprint that ebooks offer. But that's just the beginning for Pearson Plus.
Our direct relationship with student consumers will allow us to understand more about their needs and preferences. We are going to learn from them. Those insights will give us exciting opportunities to enhance the product features and build additional content. As we do that, we'll create value for students and growth for Pearson.
As that student user base grows, Pearson Plus will reset the economics of our business. While 70% of Pearson's higher education revenue already comes from digital products, Pearson Plus is also designed to help us regain a portion of the more than 14 million textbooks lost to the secondary market and to non-consumption. We believe we can capture those sales with a competitively priced e-text experience that students will prefer. As students move to using Pearson Plus, we can move to a business based on relationships, not just transactions. That helps us produce sustainable revenue growth. So it's good for Pearson, but it's great for students. When students get access directly from us, they get a simple buying experience with a great price and the most up-to-date digital materials. They don't have to spend time looking for the best deal. Every title is the same price. And when students can afford access to their content the first day of class, our studies show that participation, grades, and pass rates all improve.
That brings us to one of the biggest reasons Pearson Plus is different from other study apps on the market. Its budget-friendly subscription plan. With Pearson Plus, we're fundamentally changing the way college students access textbooks. For the first time, we're bringing ebooks in line with how students buy and experience the rest of their content by giving them more control over how they purchase their learning materials. No more time wasted in checkout lines or scouring the internet for the best deal. Now, students can choose between two simple pricing tiers based on what they need. If they need just one ebook, they can pay $9.99 each month. Or if they need two or more books, they can purchase our multi-tier with access to our entire ebook library for $14.99 each month. Subscriptions will come with a 4-month commitment. Unlike other textbook subscription services, students aren't tied to plans that give them more than they need. And they can pay as they go, so they don't have a large upfront costs at the beginning of the semester. Students gain time, money, and simplicity. A key element to providing this great content are our authors. More than 3,000 authors create the material that will bring Pearson Plus to life. We recently sat down with one of them, noted economist Glenn Hubbard, to discuss the impact of digital learning on students and higher education.
Hi, I'm Laura Howe, Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications here at Pearson, and I'm joined today by Glenn Hubbard, Dean Emeritus of the Columbia Business School. Glenn is one of our most treasured authors because of his deep, deep expertise in economics. Thanks for joining us today, Glenn.
My pleasure.
Tell us what you love most about being an educator.
It's the aha moments. I love being in a lecture hall and being able to tell a story with students, engage them, and then see the look in a face that I just made a connection.
So as we get out of the pandemic and start to emerge on the other side, what do you think is the biggest opportunity for higher ed?
I think there are huge opportunities in the way we deliver a student experience. Traditionally, we've thought of it as a professor in front of the room and a textbook, and maybe some products along with the textbook. Now it's breaking up the student experience. Students learn better that way. The pandemic sort of threw us in the pool and taught us to swim, but it's more fun to swim this way.
So that's actually a really great segue because we've seen a lot of other industries move towards digital. We've seen music, movies, television, the news industry move towards really a direct-to-consumer digital consumption model. It sounds like it's really education's turn now.
It really is. I mean, students in the other media they consume typically do so in chunks. And whether it's the length of a show they might watch, or the length of a podcast they might listen to, we need to do that in the textbook. And it turns out it's pedagogically better too. And I'm very excited about the opportunity to do that.
So you've seen Pearson Plus. Just give us your opinion, give us your assessment of it.
I'm really excited about it. I think that when I saw the plus sign, my expectations were high and they were met. In the sense that looking at a device like a phone that a typical student would be using, his or her smartphone, you're able to do a lot of very rich features and interaction, toolbar on the right, very contemporary and edgy graphics and art. And I think at the end of the day, my goal as an instructor is to get the student to both learn and like what I'm talking about. Pearson Plus will do that.
As you talk to students and you hear them in your classroom, how important is it that they can pay monthly and kind of be on this pay-as-you-go model, and they're not having to spend a lot of money up front for their textbooks?
It is the real affordability issues, and they ought to concern us. And a lot of students are in a position where they say, I just can't shell out that much for a textbook. Even if I think I could sell it back later and get part of it back, it's just too much. This allows a chunking of expenditure, just like we talked about chunking of learning experience. And I think it's going to make education more affordable.
What do you think students will think about Pearson Plus?
I think two things. One, they're going to be really excited to see it. And then they're going to say, what the heck took us so long to do it? You know, why were we stuck in these big textbooks that are expensive to buy and hard to carry? I think it's going to be a game changer.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Glenn.
My pleasure. Thank you.
As you've seen, Pearson is changing digital learning with new products like interactive labs and Pearson Plus, combined with leading learning apps like Revel, My Labs and Mastering. We can support better teaching and better learning, driving improved outcomes for students. And we can do that while building relationships with them and delivering growth for Pearson. For us, this means more than changing just our business model. When we help people achieve their potential through learning, we can also change lives. That's Pearson's purpose, and it's one we hope you'll be excited to share with us. Thank you. And please join us for the Q&A.